Guys, Deluded Gula, YouTubes and Golo Kante. Now, one of you asked me if I could go by position from assuming goalie to lastly a striker, what I look for in all of them. Now, it's important to remember that you can't, for me, this is quite hard because I believe you can't paint footballers with one brush. Like, I have a clear bias as to what I like with wingers, but if I see, for instance, I'll start you off, I like direct wingers, but if I see a winger that likes to drift inside, isn't a bit calmer and likes to make things narrow, I'm not going to discourage him or something like that. What I mean by that is Griezmann's a striker, but we all know he can play on the flank and has played on the flank. He can be direct. Primarily, he likes to drift inside. Now, my logic just said I like direct wingers, but am I going to turn down someone like Griezmann, or I can't see the importance of someone like Griezmann, or I can't see how he's a great footballer and how I'd benefit my team and he's great at what he does? No. But to let me try my best. So I cheated a bit. Let's carry on. Wingers, ideally, I like wingers that hug the touchline. Firstly, you hug the touchline, you're already doing something. You're defending without actually defending. Why? Because now the fullback has a decision to make. He's either going to get tight. If he gets tight to you, he's left the space. So now that's down to a foot race, or your fullback can overlap you and help you out. If he drops off, you've got space to receive, and then someone has got to close you down, and other spaces around the pitch are going to open up. That's what you need. Added to that, that's why I like them to hug the touchline. I like directness. I like wingers that like I keep saying Mahrez because he's the best example in the Premier League, or Salah. Guys that just want to take on Salah drifts inside, but guys that just want to take on their fullback, get the white chalk and white marks on their boots and just embarrass their fullbacks. That's what I like. Old school sort of wingers, real number sevens is not really about nowadays, but that's what I like. Swapping flanks and all of them things, and I like skillfulness, of course. Strikers, I like pace. For me, you've got to have a decent amount of pace. You ain't got to be blistering quick. Lewandowski's not blistering quick, but you can put him a ball in behind and he'll get it. That's the sort of critique I need. Someone like Giroud would not play for me. He would be on the bench minimum. There's nothing against him. I just really find it frustrating. He's got a lot of strengths, scores a lot of goals, does his thing, but I like pace. I like running in behind. I believe when you're fast, you give centre-backs something to think about and they won't push as high up. When you play Giroud sometimes, because they know they can rely on pace, because he's not going to beat them for pace, defensive lines step up and it helps the other team regain possession and things like that. So I like players that run in, primarily strikers that run in behind. Of course, I like strikers that get involved and get in the general play and things like that. Benzema would be the best example, to be honest, because he's not the best striker in the world, but his general play is second to none. He's reasonably quick and he's a decent in front of goal, not as clinical as he once was. But yeah, he doesn't necessarily rely on his teammates to make things happen. But that being said, let's say someone like Lukaku. Now Lukaku's trying to improve his general play, and it might not be the prettiest, but unless something crazy happens at United, he's going to near enough get close to 20 league goals. Now, I like strikers that have pace. He's obviously got the pace, but I said something about general play. His ain't the best. Am I going to be discouraged against Lukaku? No, because at the end of the day, strikers are paid to put the ball in the back of the net, and you see strikers that are good with this general play stuff, they're not scoring 20 goals, and there's strikers that don't have the general play but score 20 goals. So yeah, you get where I'm going with that. Thirdly, defenders. I'm a bit weird because I like one of each. I like the calm, cool and collective type, and that can be vocal and aggressive. Like, let's say Mertesacker, he's very collective. He might not be the best, but just of what they bring to the table. Or Puyol, yeah. And then to be with Puyol, you need a PK. Someone that's, I don't really believe PK is the best example, but I like someone that's the calm head, the influencer, someone that's the aggressor, the aggressive person. I like that sort of stuff. Ideally, you want two intelligent centre halves. Obviously, PK is intelligent, but you get what I mean. But yeah, added on from that, I like aggressiveness. Like, I look at Eric Bailly and Koscielny. I like aggressive centre halves. They both are very rough around several edges and make the same mistakes, in my opinion. But I like aggression, man. I don't like centre halves that drop off and respect people too much. I like centre halves that will get tight, get in, clip your heels, discourage their striker from wanting to play, scaring their strikers. I like smart defenders. You look at John Terry. Was he the quickest? No, but he was one of the quickest up here. Street smart, knew where to be at the right time. Not afraid to put his body in. The bravery. Obviously, you need a centre half that can play football and ball play and all of these things. But yeah. Then you've got fullbacks. If you can't attack, you can't play for me, quite simply. I was a fullback and I love to go forward. I liked to switch flanks with my other fullback, which we did, and our coach encouraged, which is why I can't understand why that's not in the pro game. I liked to do that. I like my fullbacks, like my wingers, hug the touchline, make it wide, but also at times come inside, become a midfielder. This is again what my coach, Darren at Norseman, encouraged us to do. So this is what I like to see. If you're afraid to play football as a fullback, you can't play for me. I like my fullbacks to basically be wingers, the Alves's, the Marcelo types. Obviously you got to defend, but yeah. midfielders, central midfielders, it's a bit ambiguous. That's probably the hardest one to answer, to be honest with you. I just like competent midfielders. You've got to have an appreciation for all roles, not just the dirty, not just the glamorous, the scoring and the assists. You've got to put the dirty work in and things like that. I like competent and consistent midfielders, like, let's say, Modric and Kroos. They're the best ones, two of the best midfielders in the world, so it's not the best example, but what I like by them, Casemiro helps them. They're not the best defensively, but their positional sense of play is there. Their intelligence is there. They think quickly. These are the sort of things I like from midfield. Obviously, I said it's a bit hard because there's box to box, there's deep line, and then you've got a DM. So it's a bit complicated in that regards. But yeah, goalie, calmness. You got to look professional, man. Like, a keeper like Ospina's a dead example, but a keeper like Ospina couldn't play for me because although you're a good shot stopper, and a lot of them South American keepers are, they don't use calmness for me. I like someone like the Czech of old, Courtois, De Gea to a degree. Well, in fact, De Gea, all of these guys, they look like a keeper. They stand up like a keeper. They ooze calmness, and especially away from home, that calmness goes into your side. Because if I look at my Norseman days, there was a couple times we was against it, and I'll see George, our keeper, pull off a couple bad boy saves. You're gassed off that. You have confidence now. You have confidence. Added to that, keepers need to be vocal because George was vocal. He could tell you if there was people side to side of you. He could tell you if you've got time to run on, and he was brave. You can't be you can't be a defender if you're not brave, and you can't be a defender if you're not brave. You definitely can't be a goalie, because I've seen George not on purpose. It's sportsmanship. Take man out because he's not afraid. I've seen George receive some whacks because he's brave. You've got to be a brave keeper. So yeah, man. I hope that marks everything, guys. Deluded Gunnar. I'm signing out. Hopefully that answers everything.